Hello, everyone, and welcome to In the Free Zone. We got Rustin Watt with us again tonight, and we're going to take a look at area matchups. We're going to make predictions on those. We're going to take a look at the playoff picture in 8-man 1 and 2 and 1, 2, and 3A. And after that, we'll kind of see what happens. Coach Watt, what's going on?
Oh, not a whole lot. Getting through. We're experiencing some of what some have had to deal with this year a little bit.
Yeah.
And kind of piecing things together.
Yeah.
Getting kids some other spots, all that. But hey, still having fun, still getting out there. We still got football.
There we go. Yeah, that's the key. We're still playing. We've got some kids missing and some of that kind of thing, but we're still playing. All right, Coach, let's start right off. We're going to start right off in the GWAC, the Great Western Athletic Conference. First matchup in the GWAC is 6-1 Holcomb versus 3-4 Hugoton. What do you think about that game?
Gosh, I see ripe for an upset.
You think?
Hugoton is just
before you go too far, I'm going to start off by telling you that Friday night, Hugoton got dominated by a one-win Larned team. Now, I'm not running Hugoton down, but they did not play well Friday night, Now, that doesn't mean they can't bounce back against Holcomb, but
do we know about Hugoton health-wise or
I do not know. They may have some problems health-wise. They may have some kids in quarantine. I don't know about any of that. I just know that, and I didn't see the game, but I listened to it on the radio, and Larned pretty well dominated it from the opening kickoff, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that blew my pick from last week then. But I guess, if going down to Larned, I'd probably have to go Holcomb then, but it's just a talented team. They see a lot of good things.
I agree. Hugoton does have a lot of talent, but so does Holcomb. Holcomb's played everyone tough, and I think Holcomb's the pick in that game. Game number 2 in the GWAC, we've got 5-2 Colby at 3-3 Goodland. Now, we've seen Goodland firsthand. We know what they can do. What we don't know for sure is what Colby can do. Colby's 5-2. Their 2 losses are, I believe, to Holcomb and Scott City.
Quality teams.
Yeah.
Man, that is interesting. I'll probably go with Colby.
Yeah, I'm going with Colby in that game too. Scott City 5-2 versus Southeast of Saline 6-0. Southeast of Saline right now has the inside track to the district championship. Well, actually, they're both undefeated in the district. The winner of this will win the district. Okay. So Scott City 5-2, Southeast of Saline 6-0. I know Southeast of Saline is good. I also know Scott City has made a couple of deep playoff runs in recent years, and so they've got big game experience. I'm going to go ahead and pick Scott City in this game. I realize they've had a couple of losses, but I just like the experience of their team, to be honest with you.
I'm going to go with you there, Willie. I think getting into these, getting into the postseason and those things, those guys that have been there before where you're just walking on the field for another game, that's going to be big. But a great matchup.
Mm-hmm. All right. Game number 4. We've got 4-3 Cimarron taking on 3-4 Ellis. Now, Cimarron's 4-3, but Cimarron's 3 losses have come to GWAC teams.
Quality.
They've lost to Holcomb, lost to Colby, and lost to Scott City, I believe. Beating everybody that played outside of the GWAC. Yeah, exactly. So I'll go ahead and make the first pick here. I'm picking Cimarron in this one.
Well, too. Big boys up front. They can manhandle you.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the last one is a GWAC WAC crossover. We've got 3-4 Ulysses versus 2-5 Dodge City. Last week, Ulysses lost 38-8 to Garden City.
I'm going to go Dodge.
I am too. I really, I thought Ulysses would play better against Garden City than they did.
Yeah.
I realize it's probably a story of matchups. Garden City probably had the size on the line to negate what Ulysses has been effective doing lately, which is running that wildcat, set or jumbo set, whatever you want to call it, And so Dodge City will be similar when it comes to that. They'll have the size to deal with that. All right, the High Plains League. We've got 4-3 Lakin versus 6-1 TMP. This game is again for the district championship. Lakin's a good team, and I know they've played some pretty good competition. I'm not real sure what TMP's competition has been like. I still think TMP's probably the better team. I'm going to pick TMP, but I got to tell you, Lakin could very well beat him, I think.
Yeah. I probably would have had a better idea if we would have had that game the other day. About Lakin, but yeah, I'll take the private school. Go with TMP.
TMP. Okay. All right. We've got 3-4 Syracuse versus 1-6 Southwestern Heights. Syracuse won their first 3 games. Since then, they've lost 4 in a row. Heights has struggled all year. Heights' only win is, I believe, against Stanton County, who is 0-7. So I think Syracuse will probably get back in the win column, even things up at 4-4 this week, and that'll put Syracuse in pretty good shape to make the playoffs too.
Nice. Yeah. I'll probably go Syracuse there, even though I like to root for the Mustangs right there.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Next game in the High Plains League. Right now. Next game in the High Plains League, we've got 2-5 Elkhart at 2-5 Whitewater Remington. I don't know a thing about Whitewater Remington. I watched Elkhart last week a little bit against Sedgwick, not a lot. But you know what? They really gave Sedgwick a better game than I thought they would. They didn't give him a great game, but they didn't give him a bad game. I think they showed some signs of life at least. So I'm going to pick Elkhart against Whitewater Remington.
I'll go with Elkhart too.
Okay. Next game is 1-4 Sublette. They are at 5-2 Oakley. Oakley has a tradition of being a pretty solid team. They've been real good at times, but most years they're solid. And like I said, their record's 5-2. Sublette has 1 win this year. That 1 win is against Stanton County, I believe. I'm going to pick Oakley in this game.
Yeah.
Although,
probably handily.
Yeah. And the last game in the High Plains League is 0-7 Stanton County versus 2-5 Wichita Independent. Now, the one thing I can give you that'll give you a little bit of comparison is Wichita Independent beat Elkhart. Elkhart beat Stanton County. All of those scores were relatively close, though, 1 or 2 scores. Okay. I'm going to pick Wichita Independent against Stanton County. I just don't think Stanton County's shown too many signs of life so far this year. Although I wish the Trojans all the best in the game.
Go with them and hope they get in the win column this week.
Well, there we go. All right. Okay, that brings us to the WAC. And, of course, the game that's of interest to us, not just because it's a WAC game, but because it's going to affect the seeding potentially and who we might play in the first round of the playoffs, is 5-1 Hayes versus 5-1 Cape and Mount Carmel. Now, we've seen Hayes this year. Because our game against Cape and was canceled, we have not seen Cape and Mount Carmel, although we've seen them on film. I'm going to pick Hayes in this game. I may be picking with my heart more than with my head, but I am going to pick Hayes in this game. Although I'm going to say
it is an interesting matchup. Again, Cape and we just know from film and that you got 2 physical teams, 2 teams with a good front.
Both big physical teams.
Pound the rock. They can hurt you in the air if they have to.
Yeah. One thing I would say, I don't know about this week, but last week Hayes was down to their 3rd string quarterback. I don't know if they're going to, I don't know if any of those kids are going to be back this week. If so, that may make a big difference in this game.
Yeah, they do got a string of backs.
Yep.
But yeah, that does shake it up. If Capen's still healthy, I think I have to go with Capen here.
I get it.
I don't know. I
I
think they
get it.
could beat
I'll be
Carolina.
honest with you. I think Capen is the smart pick. I'm picking with my heart, not my head, and I pick Hayes. All right.
It should be a good game. Should be a good one.
I think so. I think it ought to be a good game. Now we've got, of course, one we've already picked, Dodge City versus Ulysses. And then the last game in the WAC, this, of course, Liberals open. So the last game in the WAC this week is 2-5 Garden City versus 0-5 Great Bend. Great Bend is not as bad a team as their record indicates. But at the same time, I think Garden City is big enough and physical enough that they'll beat Great Bend.
Yeah, Great Bend's kind of like I felt where we were a few weeks ago, where we just don't know who we are yet. Yeah. We don't know what works for us. What do we fit? And I think they, more so than us, were doing really well in the spread when we played them. And then us have been better with a 21-22 personnel. I wonder if they find their way. That's the heart, but I'm going to have to go. Not taking Great Bend here.
Okay. Now, the last few games here are there are 7 of them. They're all Iroquois League games, and they are all 8-man games. Okay. So the first one, and it's
me, Willie.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of our game of the week as far as I'm concerned. You got 7-0 South Gray versus 7-0 Leota. And, of course, they're playing for the district championship. They both clinched the playoffs. They're both going to the playoffs no matter what, but they're playing for the district championship here. They have not played they've played some common opponents. Both of them have tended to point rule almost everyone, to be honest with you. I think this game could go either way. It really could. I'm picking Leota because, to me, Leota has showed a little more strength against some common opponents. But you're talking about a pretty narrow margin there. So, yeah, it's definitely a game that could go either way.
I know it was a while back. But when I was a kid, we used to play South Gray and MAYB quite a lot. And they had some big old boys. They had 2 6'4" kids, and we're in like 5th grade, you know, and they thumped us in those early years. I'm going to take South Gray.
Okay.
I'll take South
Sounds
Gray.
Good. All right. The next one is 4-3 Hodgman County versus 2-3 Meade. And, looking at the scores, Meade has looked pretty good at times this year and not real good at times this year. I assume part of that may be because they've had some kids and not had some kids at times. They had to cancel some games because of COVID issues and some things like that. So my guess is that Meade hasn't always been full strength this year. But they are 2-3, and Hodgman County is 4-3. Hodgman County is Jetmore, of course. And to me, this is another one. It could probably go either way. Hodgman County, both teams have a history of being pretty strong. Hodgman County has always been an 8-man team. Of course, Meade has just dropped down to 8-man. I'm going to go ahead and pick Meade in this game. I think, like I said, I think it could probably go either way. But to me, Meade is probably I just think Meade might be a better team, and I may be totally wrong here. I'm kind of like you when it comes to these 8-man games. Sometimes I'm kind of taking a stab in the dark.
A little local bias too.
That's true. Yes, that's exactly right. All right, we've got 5-2 South Central versus 2-5 Ingalls. South Central has been surprisingly strong this year. They've not been very good the last couple of years, but they've beaten some of these teams by pretty solid margins. So I think South Central should get by Ingalls. We've got 4-3 Spearville versus 3-3 Ness City. This is definitely also a game that could go either way. Ness City started off, I believe, 0-3 and has won 3 in a row since then. Spearville, I think, started off 3-0 and has 1-3 since then. So Ness City, to me, is the team that's headed in the right direction.
Take the momentum.
Exactly. And so, yeah, I'm picking Ness City in this one.
Yeah.
We've got 4-3 Buckland versus 1-5 Dighton. Dighton canceled or forfeited last week. My guess is because they didn't have enough kids to play, and who knows why. You know what those at a school like that could be COVID, could be injuries, could be eligibility, could be a lot of things. So I'm picking Buckland in that game. We've got 2-5 Kiowa County versus 3-3 La Crosse. Kiowa County's shown some strength. You know, they've won a couple of games that I didn't think they would win this year. La Crosse is traditionally a pretty strong program. This is, I believe, their first year. Yeah, this is their first year down at 8-man. And so they're kind of learning the game, but still we know that La Crosse has had some athletes over the years. So I'm picking La Crosse in this game.
Well, as well. Old Coach Haskell's old squad back there.
There you go.
Yeah.
And the last game is 3-4 Mineola versus 0-7 Satanta. This is another one Satanta canceled last week, so I don't know that this game will be played. Yeah. But I'm picking Mineola in this game. Yeah. And we'll kind of see, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Now, one thing I did want to do is take a quick look at the playoff picture for the small schools. We'll start in 8-man Division 2. District 1. Colony Crest has clinched the championship of District 1. They are 5-0 in the district and 8-0 overall. Waverly, St. Paul, and Chautauqua have all clinched the playoffs. Southern Coffee County and Altoona Midway are out. In District 2, nobody has clinched the championship yet. But Lebo, Hartford, Mare de Seine, and Wakefield have all clinched the playoffs. Rural Vista and Center Lost Springs are out. In District 3, it's a little more wide open. You've got Frankfort and Hanover. Frankfort is 4-0 in the district. Hanover is 2-0 in the district. They have both clinched the playoffs. Blue Valley Randolph is 0-3 in the district and 0-4 overall. They've been eliminated. So you've got 1-2, and these are their district records. 1-2 Axtell, 1-2 Wetmore, and 1-2 Onaga. The three of them are fighting it out for the final 2 playoff spots. In District 4, Beloit St. John's Tipton, Osborne, Lakeside Downs, and Thunder Ridge have all clinched playoff berths. Mankato Rock Hills, Pike Valley, and Southern Cloud are all 3 out of the playoffs. In District 5, Victoria has clinched the championship. Central Plains, Sylvan Lucas, and Wilson have clinched the playoffs. Otis Bison, Chase, and Tescott have been eliminated. All right, hang on here, Rustin. Sorry, I lost my place.
Oh, no worries.
Okay. District 6, Norwich and Caldwell have clinched the playoffs. South Haven has been eliminated. That means South Barber, Peabody Burns, and Hutch Central Christian, and Stafford. The 4 of them are fighting for 2 playoff spots. In District 7, South Central, who we talked about just a minute ago, at 4-0 in the district and 5-2 overall, they have clinched the district championship. Buckland at 3-1 is in the playoffs. Mineola at 2-2 is in the playoffs. Ingalls at 2-2 is in the playoffs. Dighton and Satanta have both been eliminated from the playoffs. And in District 8, 4-0 St. Francis has clinched the championship. Wheatland Grinnell and Tri-Plains Brewster have clinched the playoffs. Sharon Springs, Wallace County, has been eliminated. And Logan, Palco, and Quinter are fighting for that last playoff spot. So that's where we are in 8-man Division 2. In 8-man Division 1, we have got District 1. Sedan is the champion. They've clinched that. Oswego and Cedar Vale have clinched the playoffs. Marmaton Valley has been eliminated from the playoffs, so West Elk and Yates Center are fighting it out for the last playoff spot there in District 1. In District 2, Madison, Chase County, Central Burden, and Oxford have all clinched the playoffs. Flint Hills and Udall have been eliminated. In District 3, no one has clinched the playoffs. Maranatha Academy, which is 0-4, has been eliminated. Okay.
It's like the NFC East.
Yeah. Well, part of it is Clifton Clyde is 2-0 is 6-1 overall, but they're only 2-0 in the district. They've only played 2 district games.
Okay.
So this is where those cancellations of district games come in.
The
Clifton
implications.
Clyde, yeah. Clifton Clyde ought to be the favorite, but at 2-0, they don't have many wins, which means if they get a loss, now their winning percentage, which is what they're going on instead of actual record, now their winning percentage falls off the table, right? So that's why nobody has clinched a spot in this district. So you've got Clifton Clyde at 2-0 in the district, Burlingame at 3-1, Washington County at 2-1, Doniphan West at 1-1, and Valley Falls at 1-2. Those 5 are fighting it out for 4 playoff berths. District 4. Canton Galva is 4-0 in the district, 7-0 overall. They've clinched the playoffs. Little River at 3-1 has clinched the playoffs. Lincoln at 3-1 has clinched the playoffs. Nobody, believe it or not, has been mathematically eliminated in this district, even though Harrington is 0-4. So you've got Bennington at 1-3, Solomon at 1-3, and Harrington at 0-4 fighting for the one remaining playoff spot. In District 5, you've got Argonia Attica is the district champion. They're 6-1 overall and 3-0 in the district. They've clinched the playoffs and they've clinched the district championship. After that, it's pretty wide open. Fairfield at 0-7 and 0-4 in the district has been eliminated. But Pretty Prairie 2-1, Gossel 2-1, Mound Ridge 2-2, and Medicine Lodge 1-2. Those 4 teams are fighting it out for 3 playoff berths. District 6, La Crosse, nobody has clinched the playoffs out of this district either. Okay. You've got La Crosse at 3-1, Pratt Skyline at 3-1, Kiowa County at 2-2, Maxville at 2-2, and Kinsley at 2-2. Those 5 teams are fighting it out for 4 playoff berths. St. John at 0-4 and 1-4 overall has been eliminated. District 7. And this one is the one where Leota, Wichita County, and South Gray will be playing for the district championship Friday night. Okay, so you've got 4-0 Leota and 4-0 South Gray that have both clinched playoff spots. 2-2 Ness City, 1-3 Hodgman County, 0-3 Spearville, and 0-3 Meade are fighting it out for the 2 remaining playoff spots. Nobody has been mathematically eliminated. Okay, so we've got Meade playing Hodgman County. If Meade gets a win over Hodgman County, Meade may well make it into the playoffs. Okay. Spearville's playing Ness City. Spearville with a win over Ness City's got a shot at making the playoffs. So they're all still alive. All right. In District 8, Hoxie 3-0. They've clinched the playoffs. Atwood Rollins County is 2-0. Hill City's 2-1, Oberlin Decatur County's 1-2, Waukene Trigo is 0-2, and Stockton is 0-3, and all 5 of those schools are still alive for the 3 remaining playoff spots. And that is 8-man Division 1. Now, in 1A, Coach Watt, it's real easy. Everybody's making the playoffs.
Yep.
It's a 32
you want in, get in.
Yeah, it's a 32-team bracket, and there's only 28 teams, so that's all you need to know. Everybody's making the playoffs in 1A. So let's take a quick look at 2A. In 2A, District 1, nobody has clinched the playoffs, and nobody has been eliminated. Okay, so District 1 is technically still wide open, 6 teams fighting for 4 playoff berths. St. Mary's Colgan is 3-0, Riverton is 2-0, Fredonia is 2-1, Southeast Cherokee is 1-1, Neodesha is 1-3, and Erie is 0-4. You know who the coach at Fredonia is, don't you, Coach?
Who was that?
That's
that is Swatty.
Yeah, Swatty is
Coach
at
Swatty.
Fredonia.
Yeah.
So they're 2-1 in the district, 3-3 overall, and still very much alive for a playoff berth.
Got to root for SWAT Cat.
Yeah, there you go. District 2, we've got, again, they're all still alive. You've got Osage City at 4-0, West Franklin at 3-1, Wellsville at 2-1, Eureka at 1-3, Humboldt at 1-3, and Jayhawk Lynn at 0-3. They obviously have the outside track, but they are still alive mathematically. So those 6 teams are fighting it out for 4 playoff spots. In District 3, Rossville and Silver Lake have at least clinched the playoffs. Okay. Rossville's 4-0. Silver Lake is 3-1. Their only losses to Rossville. Mission Valley and Pleasant Ridge will make the playoffs. McLouth and Oskaloosa, both at 0-4 in the district and 0-7 overall, have been eliminated from the playoffs. District 4. 2 teams have been eliminated from the playoffs. Atchison County at 0-3 and St. Mary's at 0-4, which means the other 4 teams in the district are going to make the playoffs. Those are Marhill Mount Academy, Nemaha Central, Republic County, and Riverside. In District 5, 1 team, Lions, 0-4, has been eliminated. 2 teams, Hillsboro, 4-0, and Hutch Trinity, 3-1, have clinched the playoffs. And that leaves 3-1 Haven, 1-3 Sterling, and 1-3 Marion, fighting it out for 2 remaining playoff berths. In District 6, 1 team, 4-0 Garden Plain, has clinched the playoffs. Kingman at 3-1, Belle Plaine at 2-2, Chaparral at 1-2, Douglas at 0-2, and Leon Blue Stem at 0-3 are all still mathematically alive. So between the 5 of them, there are 3 playoff spots left. District 7, TMP, Thomas More Prep. They have clinched the playoffs. Cimarron has clinched the playoffs. The 2 of them play Friday for the district championship. Lakin at 3-1 has clinched the playoffs, and Ellis at 2-2 has clinched the playoffs. And Syracuse and Southwestern Heights have been eliminated. I thought Syracuse was still alive, but I didn't realize they were 0-4 in the district. So, yeah, Syracuse at 0-4 in the district has been eliminated. So, Syracuse and Heights have been eliminated there in that one. District 8 is still wide open. Nobody's clinched the playoffs. Nobody has been eliminated, although Hoisington at 4-0 and 7-0 overall has definitely got the inside track. Phillipsburg is 3-1 in the district. Minneapolis 2-2. Beloit 1-2. Ellsworth 1-3. And Norton is at 0-3. And last for this week, we'll take a quick look at 3A. 3A District 1, we've got no one has clinched and no one has been eliminated, but Columbus at 4-0's obviously got the inside track. They're 7-0 overall. Baxter Springs at 0-4 and 0-5 overall. It's probably going to take a miracle for them to make the playoffs. In between, you've got Galena at 3-1, Caney Valley at 3-1, Parsons at 1-3, and Cherryvale at 1-3. In District 2, Iola and Anderson County, 0-2 and 0-3, have been eliminated from the playoffs, which means that the other 4 are going to make it. Those other 4 are 3-1 Burlington, 2-1 Frontenac, 2-1 Girard, and 2-1 Prairie View. In District 3, everyone is still alive, and District 3 is one where obviously they've had some cancellations and things because Baldwin has only played 1 district game. Okay, so we've got Topeka Hayden at 3-0, Baldwin at 1-0, Perry Lecompton at 2-1, Santa Fe Trail at 2-2, Osawatomie at 1-3, and Bishop Ward at 0-3. And like I said, nobody's been eliminated and nobody has clinched, probably because of the odd numbers of games in the district. District 4, the two at the top have clinched, Holton at 4-0 and Rock Creek at 3-1. That leaves Jefferson West at 2-1, Sabetha at 1-2, Hiawatha at 1-3, and Royal Valley at 0-4, fighting it out for 2 playoff spots. In District 5, no one has clinched and no one has been eliminated. You've got 3-0 Riley County, 3-0 Marysville, 1-1 Chapman, 2-2 Concordia, 1-3 Clay Center, and 0-4 Council Grove. In District 6, one team has clinched, Scott City. They are 4-0 in the district. Southeast of Saline is 3-0 in the district. And Southeast of Saline and Scott City play each other Friday for what ought to be the district championship. But Scott City is the only team that's clinched the playoffs out of this district. Okay? And nobody has mathematically been eliminated, although Russell's got to be close. So here are the 5 teams left for 3 playoff spots. 3-0 Southeast of Saline, 2-2 Colby, 1-2 Goodland, 1-3 Smoky Valley, and 0-4 Russell. And so we know how that district shapes up. Colby and Goodland will play each other, and Smoky Valley will play Russell. Assuming Smoky Valley beats Russell, if Goodland loses to Colby, there is at least a chance that Goodland will be eliminated from the playoffs. Although looking at the point system, Smoky Valley's -39 and Goodland's -5. I believe, I'm not sure who won the head-to-head matchup. Let me look at that real quickly, because that'll be the first tiebreaker. Yeah. Let's see. Looks like Goodland lost 20-21 in 2 overtimes. Whoa. So if Smoky Valley wins and Goodland loses, Smoky Valley's in and Goodland's out. Yeah, so Goodland needs a win to make sure that they get into the playoffs. And that is the playoff picture in 3A, I think. Let me see, did I miss a district? Oh, yes, I did. I missed 2 districts. We've still got 2 districts to go. That was District 6. Okay, here's District 7. Only one team has clinched, Wichita Collegiate. They are 4-0 in the district and 7-0 overall. But the team they've still got to play Friday is number 1 ranked Andale, who is 3-0 in the district and 6-0 overall. You've also got in that district 2-2 Clearwater, 1-3 Heston, 1-3 Halstead, and 0-3 Wichita Trinity. And in District 8, no one has clinched and no one has been eliminated. But you've got 4-0 Cheney, 3-1 Holcomb, 1-2 Larned, 1-2 Hugoton, 1-3 Pratt, and 0-2 Nickerson. Now, Hugoton plays Holcomb, okay? So a loss for Hugoton makes the chances of them making the playoffs pretty slim. Let me see who Nickerson plays, so that may tell us a lot. Looks like Nickerson's got Pratt. Okay, so Pratt's playing an 0-7 team. If Pratt wins that one, they're probably going to make the playoffs.
Got the right game on the right week.
Yeah, that's exactly right, because that'll put Pratt at 2-3 in the district. A win for Hugoton makes them 2-2. A loss makes them 1-3. That means then that Larned is playing Cheney, which means good chance Larned's going to lose, which would drop Larned to 1-3 in the district as well. So Hugoton is probably eliminated with a loss, but not definitely. Hugoton could actually still be alive even if they lose to Holcomb. So Hugoton's got a chance to make the playoffs either way. Now, obviously, their chance is much better if they win. As a matter of fact, if they win, they're in. But if a loss, they're still not necessarily eliminated. That's how crazy that district is.
Wow.
Yeah. All right, 4, 5, and 6A we'll talk about next week. Of course, we'll know then who's in the playoffs. Well, everybody's in the playoffs in 4, 5, and 6A. That's why we're not talking about it. Same reason why we didn't talk about 1A. But in 4, 5, and 6A next week, we'll talk about matchups. We'll see who's playing who, and that'll really tell us a lot.
See if we can find that Salina South in the bracket.
Yeah, there you go. And that's the thing with 4, 5, and 6A, they seed it, and there will be some real anomalies in seeding. Like right now, Bishop Miege, who is ranked number 1 in 4A, if the playoffs started tomorrow, Miege, I think, would be a 7 seed because they've lost to Bishop Carroll, Mill Valley, and and Rockhurst, Missouri. Yeah. So they've lost to some high power programs, and playing those programs probably has made them a better team.
Oh yeah.
But boy, it's hurt them as far as the seeding goes,
Yeah.
And so you always get little quirks like that, and those will be interesting to see. They really will. I was going to talk about volleyball a little bit. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Okay. We talk about football a lot because we're football coaches and people watch football, and there's a lot of reasons why. Okay. But there are other sports going on out there. For instance, regional cross country will be run Saturday. Okay. Around the state. Okay. This is what determines who goes to state. So if you get a chance Saturday to get out and watch some regional cross country, do that. Also Saturday, sub-state volleyball will be going on in all classifications. That's what determines who goes to state in volleyball, who goes to the state volleyball tournament. So get out and watch volleyball if you get a chance. Soccer, the playoffs start next week. Is that right, Coach?
I think so.
I think so too. All right. So the playoffs will start next week in soccer, I believe. Girls golf, they just had the state championships earlier this week. Saturday, when we do the Saturday breakdown, after we've gone through the football scores, I'll pull up the golf results and we'll go quickly through the girls' state results from golf and try to give those girls a little bit of recognition because they deserve it. Anything else you want to talk about, Coach Watt?
I don't have a whole lot,
Okay.
just, man, a lot of riding on Friday.
Oh yeah.
All across the state at all classifications. This is a big week. Hopefully everyone's bringing, got to that point where they're going to be playing some of the best ball, and we see a lot of good things, maybe some surprises, and
yeah, absolutely.
Get ready for the playoffs.
This Friday's, there's some big games coming up this Friday. A lot of district championships on the line, the playoffs on the line for a lot of teams in the small schools. In the big schools, it's seeding that's on the line, but seeding can be very important. And so, everybody's kind of looking forward to Friday. We're right down to it. We're just about to the end of the season. At the first of the season, I don't think a lot of people knew whether we would make it this far or not. Yeah. And we have. Okay.
It's a war of attrition.
Yeah, absolutely. There have been cancellations. There have been quarantines. There have been all kinds of crazy things over the course of the year, but we've made it this far. We're still playing football, and we're about to go into the playoffs. And so it's a pretty exciting time for football in the state of Kansas. Okay. We also talk a lot about Oklahoma and Texas. They still have 3 games left in their regular season. Kansas only has 1. Texas and Oklahoma still have 3 regular season games left. So in the next couple of weeks, we'll start to take a look at the playoff picture a little bit in Oklahoma and Texas, and we'll start to talk about their playoffs, but they've still got, like I said, 3 weeks left of their regular season. So that kind of stuff's going to start to take picture for them here in the next few weeks. Get out this weekend, go watch some volleyball, go watch some cross country, go watch some soccer. We all love football and we want you at the football games, but we love all sports and we want to see people support all of those sports.
Don't forget to get out and vote. You can go early vote.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. You got early voting going on, and of course the actual day is less than 2 weeks away now.
Gosh,
okay,
crazy.
so yeah, everybody get out and vote. Also, get out and support Back Home Media. This is a Back Home Media production. You see all of the different platforms that we're on down there at the bottom of the screen. Back Home Media offers a lot of different services. They also have a lot of different podcasts. They're adding podcasts every day. And, Back Home Media's got a lot of great things going on, and I'm excited to be a part of Back Home Media. So we'll see you Saturday with the Saturday Breakdown. And then next week, we'll talk a lot about playoff pairings as well. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll catch you Saturday on the Breakdown and next Wednesday. Thanks a lot.
Well,
I don't think it, I thought it, that's different. I said what I said and I meant it, or lamented. Words given weight without thought in a person, the way that I talk and the way that I ought to be able to pause and to say that the fault can be placed on my arms. I display for assault to disgrace in his arm. Pray for the day they could wait for the calm. You can't control the storm, only weather it, whether it's 5 weeks and 5 days of rain sideways, or scorched earth, search for death, or water left with all the thorns, with the petals gone, settle on the breath of autumn. If the ground fits, wear it, the crown fits.